started singing when I was in primary. I remember we were tasked with the responsibility of coming up with a song for a cleanup campaign. I was in grade 5 at the time, so I went to Robert Treadgold Primary School. That's where everything started. And I remember one of our teachers was like, "Oh, who's going to take the lead for this cleanup campaign song?" And I volunteered and I sang it in assembly. And one of my aunts used to actually teach there. And so she was like, "Oh yeah, you have a beautiful voice." She went to tell my mom, who did not know at the time that I could sing. You know, I was a little bit shy because it's not anything that I saw someone doing in my family. But from then I started singing at church. And then I started singing again when I went to high school. So I went to Sizane High School in Pelandaba, and I did a lot of singing. I was involved with the choir. I was like the choir captain for a very long time. And that's when I actually honed the skill of singing and became even more confident, because we would go to assembly twice a week, and then we'd go to assembly every day, and then twice a week we would sing, and I would always be that one who sang the lead in the choir, you know. Professionally, I started singing when one of my friends referred me to an artist. I think Mzoe was looking for a vocalist, and one of my friends from high school was like, "Oh, I know Joy, she can sing." So he introduced me to Mzoe, who then introduced me to Skaiva. And then I started working a lot with Skaiva. We have a couple of projects that are out and some are still unreleased. But yeah, I started working professionally with him. And when I moved to the US for my tertiary education, I continued to sing. Each and every time I got the opportunity to go back home, I would go home and like sing in the studio and so on and so forth. So that's just how the whole journey started.
Let's talk a little more about that. Tell us a little more about that. What has it been like in terms of working with all these prominent African musicians?
It's been such a great experience. I mean, I have learned a lot in music. So when I worked with Skaiva, it was mostly on his project. So I was featured in his singles that he would release. And then in 2017, he released an EP called Against All Odds. I had 2 tracks on there. So when I speak of learning how to sing professionally, it was through the guidance of Skaiva, and also he works with one of my music mentors called Rakim, and Rakim pretty much taught me how to sing. He pretty much, I guess I already knew how to sing, but he pretty much showed me where my strongest points were, and through his writing, I also learned how to write professionally through him. So when it comes to understanding the music business, I think working with these individuals on their solo projects was very key. And then it gave me the confidence and the energy to actually focus on working on my own project. And so in 2020, when I decided it was time for me to actually venture out and work on my own project, I decided to feature KidX, who was really so amazing. And working with him was just like a dream come true. You know, for someone that's as accomplished as him, for him to be able to treat me like, you know, like a fellow artist who is at his level, and then be willing to learn from me and be willing to guide me. It was really such an experience. A lot of people were interested in finding out how it all came about.
I am too. I would love to hear more about that.
Networking.
Mm-hmm.
I am an advocate for networking. I believe networking can open spaces that your talent can't do that alone. So you can be talented, you can have it all, but if you're not connected, or if you're not seeking to connect with other people, it may be difficult for you to get where you want to. With KidX, it was just a matter of me engaging him for more than 2 years. You know, it took quite some time before we were able to have like a single.
You've mentioned that you're a jack of all trades, which I really liked, and I like that you touched on the importance of networking. This month is a very important month for women across the board, across the whole world. It's a Women's Month. And so I want to hear more about that from you, from your personal perspective as in the arts industry. This is an industry that is predominantly male dominated. And so I'd like to hear more about that. How have you been able to maneuver throughout this industry? And what were the biggest challenges you faced?
I mean, it's quite a challenging industry. And one of the reasons why I decided to put out solo work is that in the past, I've done a lot of music projects with DJs and producers that are in the deep house music scene. So deep house is a large following in Bulawayo and an even larger following in South Africa. And one of the things that one can notice is that it's very difficult for women in deep house to make a name for themselves.
Right.
Because for the most part, if a DJ features you, the song belongs to that DJ. Right. And it's always like, oh, that song featuring Joy as a vocalist. So you're reduced to this person that comes in to put in the vocals, and at the end of the day, all credit gets to the male producer, the DJ that, you know, made the beat, and your contributions as someone that came up with the melody, as someone that came up with the story and used the appropriate lyrics for that song to pop, are minimalized, you know, they're trivialized. So venturing as a solo artist and deciding to depart from the dance music scene was, you know, just a decision that I had to make as a woman, given the fact that I've seen how our contributions are often trivialized. So it's such a very difficult industry, and I think a lot of females can definitely attest to that. It's easy for us to be reduced to, this vocalist, come and put in some vocals here and then you go, and then it's done. So it's such a challenging industry, but I do think that we can definitely penetrate the industry through collaborating as women, through supporting each other, and through giving each other advice. And also, whenever you hear about an opportunity, like hitting another woman up. So there's this sister of mine in music who I love so much. Her name is Jackie Queens. She's also in the dance music scene in South Africa. A lot of people know of her. She has done some pretty dope international work. And one of the ways in which she exemplified the aspect of unity through music is when she reached out to me. She was like, hey, I noticed you have this song coming up. I invited her to a listening session, and after the listening session, she was like, hey, I noticed that you have this, and this. I know this contact. Can you please reach out to him and then give him the music? I know someone who can help you get playlisted, and I know some page that we can feature you on. And you know, that was like the epitome of unity as women in the music industry. And it is my prayer that I get to do the same and return what she passed forward by creating opportunities for women. Whenever I hear about an opportunity that another woman is really eligible for, to pass it forward.
What words would you have for young women like yourselves that are looking to venture into the arts industry?
I'd say go for it. You know, I know it's like a very cliche Nike just do it mantra, but it really does work. I wouldn't have received the same amount of those streams if I had not taken the decision to go and do my music.
Could you tell our audience, I know your latest single, Roses, is also doing amazing. Shout out to you for that one. I love the song. Could you tell us where they can stream more of your music? And of course, for those that are looking to get a hold of you on social media, how can they find you?
So yeah, I'm very active on social media. Instagram being my #1 app. I live there. I really love Instagram. So you can find me on Instagram at Joy Rukanza. So at JOYRUKANZA. So I'm Joy Rukanza on Facebook. That's my Facebook page name. Instagram and Twitter. So I use the same socials. And on YouTube as well. If you pretty much write Joy Rukanza on YouTube, my music will come out because it's one of the tags that I use when uploading my music videos. You can stream my songs on YouTube. You can stream them on Spotify. You can stream the songs on Apple Music. I'm there on Deezer, Tidal. You can purchase the music on Amazon as well.
Do you have your singing voice on?
Yes.
Go ahead and praise us as we wrap up.
Yo, singing voice. All right. I'll just sing one like a tiny bit of my song Roses. Increase those streams. But it goes like, the sun has gone down, a winter during summer, and the roses wilt away. I promise I did water them, and the roses are flowers. I did water a garden, and the roses, I did water a flowers a garden, and the roses, I played my part. Dun, 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 dun. Check out YouTube. Please, 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 and share and like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I said I did it.